Welcome to Clash Corner, your daily dose of chaos.
My parents stole my life savings and left me homeless. I'm 24 years old and literally typing this from a park bench using free city Wi-Fi. My life flipped upside down in less than 12 hours and I'm in total shock. I've been working 2 jobs for the last 2 years, saving every single cent for my own apartment. My mom convinced me to keep my money in a joint savings account for safety since I turned 18. I was stupid. I trusted her because she's my mother. Today we had a massive argument because I refused to pay for my sister's college tuition again. I already gave them $2,000 last semester. My dad yelled that as long as I live under his roof, my money is family money. I told him no and went to work. When I got home at 8 p.m., the locks were changed. My bags were literally thrown on the sidewalk in trash bags. I went to a nearby motel to get a room for the night, but my card was declined. I checked my banking app and my mom had transferred every single cent, all $12,000, into her private account that afternoon. I went to the police station crying, but they told me that since it was a joint account, it's technically a civil matter and they can't force her to give it back right now. They just took a report. I have $4 in my pocket. No charger, just the clothes in my bag. My parents aren't answering my calls and my sister blocked me on everything. I'm sitting here wondering how the people who raised me could rob me and leave me homeless over a tuition argument. I've never felt so alone. I don't even know where I'm going to sleep. What would you do if your own family did this to you?
Ready for more? Here comes Clash number 2.
I replaced water with energy drinks for 10 years. I recently saw a story online from a guy who drank nothing but a certain 0-calorie soda for years and spent a fortune on doctors trying to figure out why he had chronic headaches, only to find out he was just severely dehydrated. It was a funny read because it felt exactly like what happened to me, but with a different energy drink brand. I'm 30 now. For the last decade, a specific 0-calorie energy drink was my only source of hydration. It started around age 20 with 1 or 2 cans a day. By the last 3 years, it had spiraled into a minimum of 4 to 5 cans every single day, morning, noon, and night. When I say I drank only that energy drink, I mean it. I would have maybe 1 glass of water when I woke up and 1 before bed if I felt particularly dry, but for the other 16 hours of the day? Only energy drinks. Water wasn't even in my vocabulary. I was conditioned. It was a Pavlovian response. The moment I sat down at my computer to work or game, I needed that ice-cold can from the fridge. Nothing else tasted right. My brain performed Olympic-level mental gymnastics to justify this. Because I could drink an energy drink at 11 p.m. and still fall asleep, I convinced myself I had developed a caffeine immunity. I genuinely believed my body just didn't react to it anymore. I ignored the science and the common sense because I didn't want to give up my ritual. For years, I've been dragging myself to doctors, frustrated because I felt chronically flat and exhausted, despite being pumped full of stimulants. I was ashen, incredibly pale, and recently I noticed my dark eye circles were getting so bad I looked like I hadn't slept since 2014. I couldn't lose weight to save my life, even while being in a massive calorie deficit. My metabolism was basically stuck in a permanent error state. I'd get random heart palpitations or a racing pulse while just sitting still, which I knew came from the caffeine but still was able to ignore it. 1 to 2 months ago it clicked for me while I was researching my dark eye circles. I realized I probably wasn't immune to caffeine. I was just heavily conditioned and dangerously dehydrated and stressed. The concept of hydration and high caffeine levels were something I had pushed out of my mind for 10 years just to protect my habit. Then I finally cut back. I now limit myself to a maximum of 2 cans, and never after 3 p.m. Everything else is water with lemon. It sounds so simple, but it is still quite hard for me to stay away from the energy drink when I am thirsty. That particular brand just has this nice taste I like that much. Sadly, there are no caffeine-free variants available. It's honestly fascinating and embarrassing how much we can manipulate ourselves just to keep an addiction going. I'm sharing this as a final closing chapter for myself. Hopefully, it serves as a warning, or at the very least, you can all laugh at how I managed to fool myself for 10 years straight. Have you ever convinced yourself something wasn't a problem when deep down you knew it was?
The chaos doesn't stop. Clash number 3.
I lost 110 pounds and my family started treating me like a stranger. I'm 62 years old, and I thought losing over 110 pounds would make me healthier and happier. I didn't expect my own daughters and granddaughter to turn on me. I'm a 62-year-old woman with 2 daughters, Anna who is 44, and Rachel who is 38, and a granddaughter Hannah who is 22. I've known them all their lives. I thought we had a good relationship. Now, I don't know. Is it me, or did I raise mean girls? I have worked really hard the past 2 years and have lost over 110 pounds. I watched what I ate: high protein, low carbs, no sugars, low calorie, a few treats here and there and lots of walking, workouts, and I started playing pickleball last summer. I have been heavy all my life, and 2 years ago I weighed 305 pounds. Now I am the smallest I've been since my 20s. My oldest daughter and granddaughter hadn't seen me in person since summer, and at Christmas they were shocked by my appearance. I lost 40 pounds since July when I added pickleball to my exercise routine. I overheard the girls talking and it was very hurtful what they said. I wasn't deliberately listening. I was in the bathroom and they were in the hallway. The comments they made me tear up. Saying I look like a deflating balloon, that soon I won't want to be seen with them. Is that how they felt about me when I was so much bigger? I have never given unsolicited diet advice. Don't make comments about their weight. They are my girls. I wouldn't say hurtful things to them. I did say I had a bag of clothes, work stuff, business casual I wore on my way down if they wanted to look before it was donated. I am just a couple sizes smaller than 2 of them and about the size of the 3rd. I have 40 pounds to goal. I didn't push it, just said the stuff is in their father's closet. My late husband's closet. My granddaughter said she didn't want to wear grandma clothes. Fair enough, I wouldn't want to wear the leggings and crop tops of 20-somethings. But the way they all looked at each other and snickered is what got me. My granddaughter said I looked more wrinkly now I've lost weight, and during dinner when I only took smaller portions, no sweets, my oldest who I hadn't seen in a few months said in kind of a snarky way, "Isn't our food good enough for you anymore? Too much fat?" I responded I have to be careful to keep losing and keep the weight off. The comments kept coming from all 3 of them, like, "Who wants pie? I'm sure you won't want any. You aren't greedy like us." I did have a sliver of the pumpkin pie my granddaughter made. It's my favorite. And then after dishes my daughter laughed and said, "Are you gonna go walk off the 200 calories you ate at dinner or hang around us a while?" My granddaughter laughed and said, "I doubt it was 200, more like 60. For the record, I had a small slice of ham my daughter Rachel made, and a bit of prime rib my daughter Anna made, a serving of sautéed green beans I made, not the green bean casserole my daughter-in-law made, and she seemed irritated I didn't eat it, a half of a baked potato, and a small Hawaiian roll. I didn't turn anything down, just didn't choose it from the buffet. I didn't think I would be judged. When everyone left I had a good cry. I felt like I'd been bullied by a group of mean girls. I had read that people who lose weight aren't treated the same by friends and coworkers, and I know I am treated different at this weight than at 300 by service people in the doctor's office, but I didn't expect it from my girls. My own family. How can I fix this? Do I address it as a group, individually, or ignore and hope it stops? What would you do? Would you confront them, or let it go?
Another clash is on the way. Here's number 4.
My friend ruined my special teapot while cat sitting. I came home from a work trip to find my $500 teapot in the sink, smelling like soap, and covered in scratches. I went overseas and bought myself a special clay teapot. This is an unglazed pot that gets seasoned the more you make tea in it, kind of like a cast iron pan. Since it's unglazed, you cannot wash it with soap or any rough sponges. You clean it by using hot water and then you let it air dry. Nothing else. This is the issue. I left for a work trip and my friend watched my cat. I paid her. I told her she could use anything in the kitchen. My special teapot is not in the kitchen and neither are any of my fancy loose leaf teas for it. I have a normal kettle in the kitchen for guests to use. I came back and found the teapot in my sink and it smelled like soap. It also had multiple scratches on the inside. I called her up and she told me she used it because she loved the tea I make with it. She then washed it with a rough wire sponge and used soap. She didn't know where my sponges were and didn't want to put it in the dishwasher. I tried to fix it and I couldn't. Anything in it comes out with the taste of soap, and the scratches are just getting bigger with every boil I try. It's ruined. I called her up and asked her to replace it since she ruined it. She told me to just clean it, and I told her I have tried. She agreed, and I sent her the teapot from the same store I bought mine that was most similar. It's actually cheaper than the one I bought overseas. It is about $500. She called me upset after I sent her the link, and refused to pay it. She claims I should have told her not to use it. I pointed out that it was behind glass and I didn't think I needed to. I asked her to pay again and she is upset. Should I just cut my losses? Would you pay to replace it, or would you cut your losses?
Chaos overload. Let's wrap up this final clash.
A movie line made me end my relationship. I was with someone for a long time, and we were planning to get married. But neither of us seemed truly happy. I was with someone for a long time, and we were planning to get married. But neither of us seemed truly happy. We just kept going because breaking up felt harder than staying together. Then I watched this movie about a comedian dealing with sleepwalking. A big part of the story was about his relationship with a woman he almost married. After they broke up, he asked her why they stayed together so long when they both knew it wasn't right. She said she didn't want to upset him. His response hit me hard. We almost stayed together our whole lives because neither of us wanted to make the other one upset for a while. About a week later, I ended things with my girlfriend. It wasn't because of the movie exactly. Our relationship had problems. I wasn't happy, and she didn't seem happy either. We just weren't saying it out loud. That line gave me the courage to finally speak up and admit it wasn't working. Have you ever stayed in something longer than you should have?
That was today's chaos. See you at the next clash. Don't just watch the clash, join the corner. Subscribe now.